Hey, welcome back to the Successful Lead Generating Coaches Show. This is Arfan, co-founder of Grow Automate Scale. And today I want to ask you a question. Have you been burned by an agency? And you just like the moment you hear advertising or Facebook ads, or even if it wasn't directly towards advertising, if it was just an organic marketing service or an agency that helped you with design, but now it just causes this cringe feeling. Maybe you've been ghosted, oversold, or just straight up been disappointed with the everything from the whole process of working with them, and it was more stress than it needed to be. Well, if you've experienced that, what I'm talking about today is how to heal and scale anyways. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because chances are over the course of your business, you're probably going to experience getting burned by whether it's a freelancer or agency or somebody to where they ghost you. They give you all these promises to be able to do this, do that, this, the third, and then they don't deliver. Um, or you put your best foot forward, and for whatever reason, the ball was dropped, and it's a sucky feeling, especially when you've invested any amount of money really, but if you've done heavy four figures, five figures or more in spend and services fees, and or even in addition to that, months, weeks and months of mental labor and physical labor of getting things ready and prepared, just to be disappointed, just to be let down, just to be ghosted, or um, it can break the trust. And I've talked to enough people now to know this is more common than not, to where someone or they've experienced bad results, work with agency, and results not even like ads not even get started, or ads again started, spend $2,000-3,000, and we look and it's just like they ran a traffic campaign to an image that didn't even have the correct ad copy and all these different things. And it's like, how do you get over this, and how do you get back into it, and how do you be able to scale? Well, one of the thing is that I do believe that if you don't have any layer of control into it, meaning that you don't have some layer of control, meaning that whether it's the control, just having understanding of how advertising works, and understanding of what this person, like what you're going to be expecting from them to do, and a way to be able to track that. And that's one of the very, very first things. You either, getting back into it saying, oh, it's cool, I'm going to go in and learn it myself. So that way, when I hire someone next time, I don't need to be the expert, but I need to know the basics. I need to know the one, two, three. I need to know the ABCs. So that way, when I hire someone that can help me get beyond the one, two, three, and beyond the ABCs, I still have that foundation to know if, gonna feed BS, or if something is not right. I have the basic understanding to know that, okay, my landing page is not converting. There's something going on. There's something wrong. Advertising is off. There's something wrong. Like, you need to be able to know when something is wrong. Because if you don't know when something is wrong, you're gonna be there, waiting until the promotion's over before you realize, well, what happened, what's going on. So you want to be on top of it, and this really boils down to having the understanding and knowing what are those expectations. Okay, how does Meta actually work, how does Google actually work, how does YouTube actually work, and how does advertising on these platforms work, right? So we know there's social media platforms, Facebook, people go on there to interact with their friends, their family, their relatives, and those who are conducting business go on there to do both. They go on there to interact with friends and family, but they also interact with their business peers, their mentors, their partners, their ideal clients. And when we're advertising, we're interrupting that, right? We're interrupting that. And now, through statistics, we know that there's a certain percentage of people that's gonna convert based off of how many people see the ad, but not just see it, but click it. And it's a point right now is where when we can grasp, okay, well, my ideal client is out there. There's over 2 billion active daily, on a daily basis, there's over 2 billion people who's active on Facebook. It's closer to 3 billion now. So almost half of the entire world on a daily basis is on Facebook, is on Instagram, is on Messenger. So, they're connected on this platform. So we're gonna reach them there. And now it's also getting the grasp of like, okay, when I go inside Ads Manager, I'm not totally lost. Okay. And I understand you may not be a tech person, like you don't understand, like you're not really great at tech, but don't let that be a crutch and hold you back. Because guess what? I can almost guarantee that if you look around you, there are some pieces of tech that at one point or another you never understood or you didn't know how to do, but now you have a basic understanding of it, and you want to have a basic understanding of it. What I mean by this is that I can be able to pull up the Facebook Ads Manager at its basic, I can be able to pull it up. I can type in the website and pull it up, right? I may not need to know what's going on, but at least I can pull it up. And then from there, I can be able to now, okay, well, where do I go to look at my ads? And from there, I can think, okay, well, what metrics actually make the needle move? Simple as this: click through rate. You want to have a good click through rate on your ads. If you don't have a good click through rate, what's good? Well, the industry standard is 1.8% click through rate. Now, in the coaching world, many of our clients get 2.5%, 3%, 4, 5% in some cases. So at least if you're over 1.8, at least you know you're with everybody else industry standard, right? So you want to be above that and say, hey, okay, my metrics are good. And then from there, I want to know what my cost per results are. Okay, so are people actually clicking on my ad, and then am I getting results? These are literally like the most basic. Of course, yeah, if you listen to this and you're more versed in ads, you're like, oh, that's super basic, man. You need to know more than that. Yes, you do, but at the basic level, I can at least know if I know nothing else at all about ads, and I'm working with someone who promises me the world, saying, hey, they can get you this many leads, we can get this many sales. This is what we're projecting. We're projecting numbers. We're projecting numbers. But when we come down to the real thing of it, and you can sense something is off, right? You start at the webinar, and 2 days go by. You have one sign up. Red flag, red flag, red flag. You know, that it's not something we cheer like, yeah, I got one. It was like, okay, hang on a minute, I only got one. I want to celebrate the one, but at the same time, I want to be wise and know that hey, something is wrong, something is off, and I can pull up the ads manager, as basic as it is. I can click on my campaigns and I can look and see, hey, oh my gosh, I ran for 2 days. I spent $100. I got one lead for $100 a lead, and then my click-through rate is a 0.5. I gotta, okay, well, what's going on? I can have a conversation with the people running my ads now, saying this is not working. What's going on? And you can get better results like this is how you heal and you build up the trust. And the reason why this happens, and this is something that I've done a lot when I was in a management career, often when we have employees that are working with us, a lot of times they need accountability, right? If there's nobody there to hold them accountable to getting results, they're going to do the bare minimum and they're not going to get results. Now, I say this because that is typically how a lot of people operate when they're a business owner, they're a freelancer. They still come with that employee mentality of, what, hey, if so and so is not really checking in on me and wondering about how these ads are doing, what's performing, what's not performing, I can just be like, oh, the ads are running, your offer sucks, your messaging sucks, things like that. And that may be true. And most of the times that is the case, right? The reason why an ad isn't working is because the offer is not that it sucks. The offer is not positioned well. The creatives aren't positioned well, and that the messaging is not positioned well, and that can negatively impact it, right? But we don't want to wait until it's over to get to that. We want to be able to make changes and do things right away. So I'm working with a client right now, and we did about $60,000 in ad spend for a webinar. But along the entire way, we were communicating about conversion rates and making tweaks and making adjustments. Even now that we're in open cart, we're actively making tweaks and adjustments. We're not just setting it up and then waiting until cart closed and then saying, oh, hey, why didn't we get as much sales as last time? Or why didn't this work? And then now we're looking at to see, well, what wasn't working? No, we want to know what's not working and then we can make changes right off the bat. So at the basic level, this is how I feel that, if you really have been burned and you want to heal and you want to scale anyway, if you've been ghosted, you've been oversold, you've been lied to, you've been let down, disappointed, all of the above, and you want to get back into it, it starts with, and I say having control, and I don't mean that like in a negative way. I mean in the sense of having some layer of control, knowing that I can be able to read stats. I can be able to have a basic understanding. So I know if I'm being fed BS, if I know that if something is not working, I can have an idea. I can logically be like, okay, I know why it's not working because of at least this one factor here. Okay. If it goes beyond that, that's where you want to be able to learn more, of course, and that's where I come in and help empower business owners and of what they need to learn. And I do my best on podcasts like this to maybe talk about these things and, and share with you so you can get educated and learn more about the unknown that there's not really a whole lot available to learn Facebook ads for online business, for a digital product. If you have a digital product, a coaching program, or one-on-one services where you're coaching, there's not a whole lot of information to where you can just pick up a textbook and go through it and boom, you got all the information you need. It takes, the Meta platform is designed to serve everybody, e-commerce, everyone, right? So the platform is going to cater to everybody. So when you want to learn more about how do I make this work for just myself, it really requires now having an understanding of, basic advertising principles in addition to like, well, how is the platform meant to be used? And when I know this, how can I use it to the best of my abilities now? Okay. Hope this is resonating. Hope this is making a lot of sense to you. Just my way of, if you're looking to really, this is what I've seen for the clients I've worked with who gained back that trust again. They've had to take things in their hands and they've had to have gotten, being able to do it themselves to see that results are possible. And when they get to that point now, is there's a confidence that comes with being able to now hire this out to now know that it's a I'm not just going to rely on this person's word and hope everything is good to go, but I'm also going to be holding them accountable. And I have KPIs. I have numbers and things that we're looking for to know if we're successful or not. We're qualifying our leads. We have a KPI for what our costs should be, things like that. And once you establish those, you start building a lot more, not trust, but what is it? You're building accountability, which now lets the whoever's working with you know that you're someone that wants information, accurate information, and you value that data because you want to get results. You're not here to play around. We can be nice, but we're not here to play around. We're here to get results and we're here to get a return back on our money. And that's what it's all about. So once you get that, guess what? You got results, right? You know how the platform at the basic level can work. You see that, hey, it's possible for me to get leads, possible for me to get sales, even if I'm just doing 5, 10, 15, $20 a day. Now, when you go and you get someone to help you, if they're telling you something and you're like, okay, that's not right, or that definitely sounds off, you can be able to be a little more cautious, and you can prevent going into situations where you may be ghosted or oversold. Overselling is one thing that gets a lot of people, especially if you don't know how the platform is. It can be very easy to oversell you on results because the truth is, advertising, for you can run 10 campaigns and there's 20-30% of those campaigns that are super successful. The other seven are really just a loss. And thankfully, those three campaigns being super successful, the way that works is that you generate enough income from those to really to help you from just going too bad in the hole. But if you're not doing it structurally or if you're not doing it wisely, what ends up happening is that if those losses are back to back to back, you are going to go in a hole. And that is a tough spot to be in because no one wants to be in a hole, in our business because now it's super stressful. And in addition to serving our clients, we're trying to dig ourselves out of this hole. Right. So um, basically, once you start seeing results, this is the point now where you can be able to say, okay, I put X dollars in, I did a promotion, I was able to get 2, 3, 4X back. Now we can repeat that process again. I'll put X again, or maybe I'll increase it. I'll go 50% more in my budget so I can see what the difference is going to be. We're not going to go like, I put $1,000 in, I did pretty good in the webinar. Let me just go put 10,000 off the bat. You could do that if you're super confident. You're like, hey, I don't even care if I lose that. I'm just gonna, aggressive. I'm a gambler. I want to do this. I don't often recommend that. Say increase it. Go from 1,000 to 1,500, or if you really want to, maybe 2,000. A figure that feels good to where it's not so scary because every promotion is always different. You never know what's going to convert, it's going to happen, and that's just real talk. Like it's something that every promotion is different. Every launch, when I launch with a client, we're doing the eighth launch in a row. I still treat it as I have that pre-existing data, but at the same time, the economy, the world, everything is different. This is still a launch we're doing again for the first time. And we approach it with make sure we're testing and we're optimizing and scaling in a similar way and a similar aggressiveness as if it was a very very first time, and we're trying to get amazing data back so we can make good decisions for the business. Okay, so hope that's helped you out. If you've never been burned before, awesome. And I hope this information can help prevent you from even getting to that point where you get burned. And the other thing is too, like there's some questions you may want to even ask, if you're inquiring about somewhere. If you even have a current team right now and you're not sure, set up a time with them. And it's something I do with clients. If they're just confused, they're like, I don't feel confident, I don't feel good. I'm like, hey, meet up with me over Zoom. We're gonna go through the ad account. I'm gonna show you what I see. I'm gonna tell you how and why I make decisions, and try to help you understand how the inside of my brain works as best as I could. And what this does, it allows to know that some things that I may not be able to communicate, as far as like why did I scale something, or why did I put a new audience out, or why did we shut that ad off. It's easy for me to show you versus maybe explain in text, to where if you're not familiar with the platform, not familiar with the system, you may not understand it. But if I can show you and you can see what the data looks like and how we're analyzing it, it becomes a little clearer. So whoever you're working with, that may be something to even do, and that way you can even build that mutual understanding, and help to increase results that way too as well. So again, if you've been burned, don't let it be the end of potentially being able to find a strategy to allow you to scale. Um, we've all, everyone who's ever run ads, myself, all the clients I've worked with, everyone I've ever talked to, have ran ads that are unsuccessful and have ran ads that were successful. We ran promotions that were super successful. We ran promotions that were not so super successful. And similarly, we learned this from the real world too as well, right? Sports Illustrated back in their early 90s, late 80s, they were about to go out of business, and they ended up running a promotion that ended up honestly saving their business. This was a very long time ago, and some of that strategy that was developed back then we still use in the online space now, right? That's how powerful they are. So once you really get a grasp of the powerful strategy that's going to work for you, you'll be able to scale very easily, and you'll look back and say, oh wow, I can't believe there was a time where I was just spending $100 a day on Facebook ads, or I was only spending $10 a day on Facebook ads, because now you've unlocked that potential to now know I can do 150, $200 a day, because you know exactly how the system works. You know exactly your offers, your messaging, things like that. You're able to put it out in a way where you're going to be able to speak to the right people, attract the right clients, and not just increase your audience size, but also get the sales as a result of it. Okay, so if you are planning ads coming up, you have an evergreen offer you're trying to put out there, or if you're just been bumping your head up against that organic ceiling and realizing that that ceiling is getting lower and lower, meaning that becoming harder and harder to reach people, let's set up a time to chat. Let's see if it could be a good fit for us to work together to help you to tap into a new market, to be able to add scalability in your business. What we do is we'll meet up on our a 30-minute call. Is totally free. Just go to arfanhussein.com and www.arfanhussein.com and click on the link to work with us. Let's schedule a call, and I'd be happy to talk with you, chat with you, and see if it'll be a good fit for me and my team to help you in your coaching business. To help you if you have a one-on-one coaching offers, or group coaching offers, or if you have a course, a membership, whatever the case is. We have some great strategies that have been working for a lot of our clients, and we can help to introduce one of these strategies in your business to help you to attract more ideal clients and increase your sales. With that being said, don't forget to leave the podcast a review, subscribe to it too as well, and share it with someone that you think it might be helpful. And I will catch you all in the next one. Have a great one.